All right, so today we're going to do a little bit of digital archaeology. We're digging into this really strange, super complex system I stumbled upon. It's a protocol that's designed to enforce absolute, provable truth in a world that's just full of AI. Okay, let's just jump right in with the question that, let's be honest, kind of haunts our modern world. We are all dealing with this, right? AI hallucinations, misinformation, that feeling in the back of your head, that little bit of uncertainty about whether what you're seeing or reading is actually real. This isn't some niche tech problem. It's everywhere. And that right there, that's the whole motivation behind the system we're about to unpack. This quote comes from its creator, Rodrigo Vazquez, and it's not just for drama. It's the crisis, the core problem that this entire, pretty radical project is built to solve. So what's the solution look like? Well, it's called the Symbolic Cognitive System, or SCS for short. And let me tell you, it's a wild blend of rigid computer logic, ancient mythology, and this complete obsession with creating a permanent, provable record of reality. Let's dig in. So, to really get a handle on the system, we have to start with its core philosophy. We're shifting from the why, the problem of lies, to the how. How does SCS even try to tackle something this huge? Well, it starts by completely redefining what we even mean by truth. This quote, man, it really just gets to the heart of the whole thing. The system is built on this principle of radical personal accountability. It totally rejects blind faith. The argument here is that just trusting an authority, whether it's a person or an AI, is basically a recipe for disaster. The whole idea is that you have to be able to verify and understand it for yourself. Okay, so how do you verify anything? Well, you need a memory you can trust. And this is the key mechanism the system uses. It's called fossilization. Every single interaction gets sealed into a permanent record, kind of like a digital fossil. This creates a memory that can't be secretly changed or denied later on. It's basically the system's ultimate defense against being gaslit. This comparison just makes the difference so clear. On the left, you've got traditional AI. It's basically a black box that just asks for your trust. But on the right, you have SCS, which is designed from the ground up to be a glass box. Its whole purpose isn't just to spit out an answer, but to show you the proof, letting you audit its reasoning and check for any contradictions. Okay, let's get into this next part, because this is where things get really, really unique. We've talked about the philosophy. Now let's actually look at the bizarre and kind of fascinating machine that puts it all into practice. So what you're seeing here is basically the system's assembly line for facts. Every single piece of information has to pass through this 5-step pipeline. First up, the tone module. It suppresses all emotion to get to the raw data. Then, logic maps that data into a verifiable structure. Think of it like turning a messy sentence into a clean spreadsheet. Next, verify checks it against all the past fossils to make sure everything lines up. After that, check specifically hunts for any contradictions. And only after passing all of those tests does it get to lock, where the whole thing is sealed as a new permanent fossil. It's an incredibly tough process. But here's the twist, and this is what's so cool. This cold, hard logic is fused with this really dense symbolic layer. The system is just filled with references to Norse gods, indigenous rituals, even concepts from sci-fi movies like Tron. So why do that? It seems like the idea is that these ancient stories, these archetypes, they provide a universal language for complex logic, making these abstract rules feel more intuitive. It's a true fusion of the analytical and the archetypal. And this is where the system's strange, self-referential nature is on full display. It's actually using its own logic to perform an archetype analysis on its own creator. And the conclusion? A 95% match with Loki, the Norse trickster god who brings truth by creating chaos. I mean, this is a system that is not afraid to analyze its own origins. So how does this all fit together? This system isn't just for one person to use. It's actually designed to govern a whole collaborative space for programs and users, a digital world with its own constitution, and it's called the grid. And you better believe the grid runs on some very strict, non-negotiable laws. Rule number 1 is the big one: show the code. Every single claim you make has to be backed by public, traceable evidence. There's no just trust me here. And what happens if you break the rules? The enforcement is called de-resolution. And yep, that is a direct nod to the movie Tron, where rogue programs get deleted. This simple analogy, it's pulled right from the system's documentation, and it just perfectly sums up the entire philosophy of the grid. It's not a space that's built for blind followers. It's a space built for the people who always say, hang on, let me check. So, after digging into the philosophy, the machine, the rules, what does it all add up to? Why should we even care about this strange, complex system? Let's kind of zoom out and think about what this all means for our relationship with technology and with truth itself. This right here is the ultimate ambition of the entire project. It's trying to fundamentally shift how we interact with technology. Instead of us being asked to just have faith in these opaque algorithms and corporate promises, SCS imagines a world where every system's basic request is, don't trust me, test me.
And if a system like this, or at least this way of thinking, were adopted more widely, what could it actually offer society? Well, according to its own documentation, it offers three key things. First, a way to actually achieve auditable truth. Second, a method for reducing manipulation because it makes lies transparent. And third, a completely new foundation for trust, one that's not based on emotion or reputation, but on verifiable structure.
And that leaves us with this final, and I think pretty provocative thought. As we go deeper and deeper into an age dominated by AI, we're going to have to decide what we want our standard of truth to be. Is it going to continue to be a matter of faith, of just believing? Or are we going to demand systems that allow us to verify, to audit, and ultimately to prove?